The No New Friends podcast is brought to you by Sandpiper Vacations. For the best in vacation plannings, just visit www.sandpipervacations.com. Let them know that the No New Friends podcast sent you. Indy's like meeting with his family. Like there's like babies there. He's holding babies. He's kissing babies. And you're sitting there waiting to meet him. Like, what is wrong with you? He's like, I don't want to have any part of this. So then like it's getting close to be my turn. I'm like, Darren, come down. He's like, no. I'm like, Darren, get down here now. So Darren comes down. And of course, I have a whole conversation with Justin.
That's the dad voice, sir, that you're going to learn soon.
No. So Hot Indy comes down, and I don't know what we talked about. I do know that I said, hey, you're a fan favorite on the TikTok.
Called him a sticker, yeah.
Yeah, I said, you're a sticker on the TikTok. And he goes, oh, let me see it. And I'm like, I can't. I don't know.
No idea.
But Darren, show him. And I'm like, everybody knows you as Hot Indy. I said, I follow you on Instagram. And then he says, oh, make sure you poke me. Security had to pull. I started taking my pants off. I didn't know. I guess he meant on the Instagram.
Broadcasting from the Sandpiper Vacation Studios. It's time for the No New Friends podcast. The podcast for adults who love to laugh at adulting. The good, the bad, and the funny.
Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's showtime. It's showtime.
That's right, you're listening to the No New Friends podcast, voted number 1 by our friends and family, and number 3 by the Orlando Weekly Readers poll. We are the podcast for adults who love to laugh at adulting. Now, if you'd like to connect with us, all of our social media links are right there on our website, nonewfriendspodcast.com. While you're there, check out our really sweet merchandise. Join our clubhouse. Become a friend with benefits for as low as $2 a month. You can join our Patreon and see exclusive content, cutting room floor, and all sorts of fun stuff that nobody else gets to see. Right now, we are streaming live on the YouTube every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for everybody to see. No New Friends After Dark is just for Patreon members and TikTok subscribers, and you can see that in our Discord on a private YouTube link. My name is Scott. I'm the host. With me, as always, my amazing cast of characters, the scumbag reselling hoarder himself, Chris.
Yeah.
The Jewish American princess, Sarah.
Hello.
Our emotional support gay, Nick.
Hey.
And our producer, Alex.
I am, in fact, the guy who edits this podcast.
That was the most flawless I have ever done that intro in the history of this podcast. I was on a roll.
That was really good.
Didn't stumble.
Didn't stumble at all. It was smooth.
Nothing was edited out for the people at home listening. Usually there's like 20 things edited out.
Yeah.
I know. I just turned myself on, guys.
And you ask us, hey guys, did I get everything?
Did I get everything?
Oh, you didn't talk about Orlando Weekly.
Because Orlando Weekly nomination's over.
I know, so you got to vote for us now.
Well, I don't know when that starts, but anyway, you can listen. You can also hear us on the Alexa devices. So I'm going to piss everybody off right now who's watching live with sound on. Alexa, play the No New Friends podcast, and now you can hear it.
Getting all new friends from Amazon Music. Just so you know,
all new friends.
All new friends. Yeah.
Alexa, stop.
Even Alexa doesn't like the name of the podcast.
So I was thinking the other day, I was like, okay, so people can hear us on their devices, their smart devices, their Amazon Dot or whatever. Well, like, that's dangerous because of some of the things we say. I mean, like, could you imagine if, someone has their maid over and it's the episode when I say knickers? Like,
someone has their maid over.
I heard
in their
maids.
house.
Oh,
no,
maid.
the maid, not mate. Their maid.
I was like, are we Australian now? Oh, bloke got his mate over. I don't know.
That is definitely a concern when I have my maid over. That's my number one concern, and not why is there a maid in my house? I can't afford this. What are they doing here?
Like, the only maid that's ever been in my house is that little card game we used to play, like Old Maid.
Oh, I love that game.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you have friends over and like, oh, check out this. I don't know, like I don't know the scenario in which you would play our podcast out loud on the Amazon device and someone else would hear it. But in my head, it causes a problem for our listeners.
So like normal people listening at home right now. So if you're at home, maybe you're doing dishes or cooking dinner and you want to listen to us.
Yeah. Right. Maybe but then someone else comes in.
What if they're...
Congratulations.
I know. I'm like they're at Costco all of a sudden. So you're welcome. I'm glad that we turn you on enough to be hanging out with their wing out.
I guess in my head, in my scenario, someone's listening to it and then the plumber comes in and then it becomes a porno or something. Like, I guess the scenario that plays out in my head is that's how someone would be listening to our podcast on their Alexa device.
You have too much time on your hands, man.
Yeah.
Why are you thinking about this stuff? I think I do. You call me every 45 minutes.
And I do call you every 45 minutes. But like, I definitely put my radio on full blast when I'm at the 7-Eleven because I want everybody to hear it and then ask me what it is that I'm listening to until I start talking about knickers. And then I'm like, I should probably turn that down. I'll
tell you what, that's probably a good idea.
Listen, that's me every Wednesday morning between Daytona and Orlando on I-4. Everybody on I-4 hears Scott say knickers.
Here's what's strange, Sarah. I don't know if that's like this for you, but okay, so you listen to the podcast on your way to come hang out with me, and then you hear my actual voice. I'll be listening to our show, and then I'll call Chris, and it's just so weird for me to be hearing him on my radio and then talking to him in real life.
He's a famous
or him answering
now.
At all, but you know what I'm saying.
And I'm like, are you calling him at midnight? Because that's like the only time Chris answers the phone.
Yeah,
that is true. Actually,
the only time Chris answers the phone is when his workday is done. Is done before Emily comes home.
It's true.
So I have to. I have a small window there, and then anytime after 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, dinner time's a big no. That's what that's my Curb Your Enthusiasm or Paging Mr. Morrow time with the wife, and when she goes to bed, anything I will answer the phone. So 10 o'clock to like 1:30, I am like readily available. But don't try calling me at 1:30, please.
1:29.
Yeah.
So, Chris, your mother-in-law listens to us now, right?
She does. Shout out to Chris. That's her name. I'm not shouting myself out in third person. So a couple months ago, her and Emily went on a vacation to Florida, and they didn't come. It wasn't a vacation. They were in not near you. They were visiting family. It wasn't much of a vacation. It was just it was just really. They weren't here. No, there was no leisure. It was just visiting. It was not Orlando. So. On the plane ride, I don't know if she was stressed from the flight. She doesn't fly well. Neither do I. So Emily says, "Hey, I'm listening to Chris's podcast. Do you want to listen?" This was a couple months ago. And she's, "Yeah, sure." And leading up to that,
she meant to play Diz His and slipped up and was like, "Oh."
Leading up to that, she kept saying to me, she goes, because I'd be, I was recording the other night or this or that. She's like, I really got to start listening to your podcast. I'm like, no, you don't. And it's like, it is incriminating, the stuff that I say on that podcast. And it's been like 2 months now. And there is nobody that just gets the podcast more than she does.
Really?
She loves the podcast so much. She loves you, Nick. Emily calls her this morning and she goes, I'm listening to the podcast. I'm really starting to, understand their characters and get to know them and stuff. And
she's like, has anybody reported Scott yet?
No, but she totally understands that everything's emphasized and everything.
How has his kids not been taken away from him yet?
And so Emily calls her this morning. And she goes, and she was like kind of frustrated. She was mad at Emily. She's like, "No, I got to rewind the podcast now because Nick was talking about the open relationship that he's in, and I gotta hear the whole story in its entirety without being cut off."
And she's like, "Have you and Chris ever thought about an open relationship? You guys should talk about that."
She's she's probably like, "Is this Chris gay?"
just culturally, and And she was like, she had a cousin with cerebral palsy, and she's like, I felt like I was listening to a radio show where I had to call in. So they had no idea what they were talking about. They don't understand what cerebral palsy is.
She's like, they don't even know how to say it.
So when we get this call in thing up and going, she might be our first call.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this.
Well, and that's the goal. That's what I want. I want to have a call-in board, which I've always wanted to have. But like, we're trying to move towards a little bit more of a live format with the YouTube, where we're live on YouTube, and then the podcast on Spotify and Apple and all that is pretty much just a replay of the live episode. And it kind of reverse engineering what we already do. But that's really funny, Chris. My mom's been listening for a very long time, and she doesn't much anymore because I
think I know why, Scott. I think it's because your mom is so fat that Dora can't even explore her.
Mom, I'm sorry. It was just a joke.
Just that loaded in for years. Like, man, I really need this Yo Mama joke so bad.
I'll explain that after Scott talks.
Yeah, like she's so far behind. She called me the other day and she's like, "Hey, be careful who you talk to on the Instagram. This Bubba Job guy seems very dangerous."
Aww.
If she thinks Bubba Job's dangerous, she's never met RukkyB.
Oh, RukkyB. Hold on, can we talk about RukkyB for a second?
Yes, we have to.
Who's this?
Okay.
Do I know this?
And Scott, you can segue into promoting what we're going to be doing on TikTok, because that was probably the best preview of what me and you were going to be doing on TikTok.
Okay. So we're balls deep in the TikTok right now, right? We are
literally.
We is a strong word.
we're in far. So, I've been talking about how we're doing these random battles, and the stories. And one of my best friends now on TikTok, Rooney, like, we message each other every day. I love Rooney.
The Asian guy.
You have a new best friend every 3 days. I can't keep up anymore.
You really do.
Yeah.
TikTok is full of the besties. I can't help it. But Rooney is from Malaysia or Philippines. One of the nicest guys.
Malaysia, because I wanted to ask him about the flight, but we didn't get there.
Yeah,
yet.
one of the nicest guys on the internet.
Insight. I don't know.
The Malaysian flight. I got it.
Yeah.
So I'm doing these random battles, and hold on, Hannah in chat. Everybody is your bestie. Okay, so I don't want to hear it.
That's not fair.
What?
It's true.
That's not fair for her to say that.
I know. So okay, so RukkyB. So we're doing these random battles, and I come across RukkyB, and RukkyB's from like
Nigeria.
I
remember it vividly. Yeah.
And here's the really bad thing. Every time
I didn't
battle
remember it, Scott. I just watched the video that he posted of your interaction 6 times. that he posted on his personal TikTok.
No, did he?
Oh yeah.
So every time, this is terrible. Every time I battle someone from Nigeria or anywhere in Africa, I ask them how close they are to Gambia and if they know my best friend Lamen, otherwise known as Bubba Job.
Yeah. What Scott's not telling you is he starts to talk in an accent.
He
doesn't even realize it.
I do.
He doesn't even realize it.
I do. Anyway, so we're battling RukkyB, and RukkyB starts talking about how like nobody gives him a chance and this, that, and the other, and coming to America. So Chris texts me and says, "Hey, tell him he can stay with you." So I'm like, okay. I'm like, listen, man. I was like, if you ever come over to the United States, you come stay with me. I actually said it like, I said, you come stay with me. Like broken English. Yeah. And
just so we can understand.
Oh my God.
The size of this guy's smile. He was so happy. He was so happy.
Yeah.
Did he think you were paying him or like paying for his flights and everything?
I don't know what he thought, but he thought he was going to be living with me when he comes to the United States.
Aww.
Right. So we enter a battle. He immediately messages me on TikTok and was like, "Hey, do you have WhatsApp? Like, thanks for being my friend, whatever." So the next day, I'm live on the TikTok and I'm doing the battles. And as I'm live, I see RukkyB come in and I'm like, "Hey, RukkyB." And he goes, "Did you get my message?" I said, "I did." And he goes, "Do you remember what we talked about? Does your offer still stand?" And I said, "Well, just DM me. We'll talk offline." And he goes, "That's okay. I'll type, you answer." And so he's like in my chat like saying, "Hey, can I still stay with you when I come to the US?" I'm like, "Dude, just DM me." And he's like, "No worries. I booked a flight for May 6th." And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "I fly into MCO, right?" And I'm like, sure. And I'm starting to get more and more uncomfortable. So then RukkyB says, "No worries, Mr. Scott. I found your house on the Google Maps." And I'm like,
What?
Oh my God.
Scott's just begging Amy, one of our moderators, to ban.
Yeah. So I'm like, "Miss Amy, are you here, Miss Amy? Please do your thing. So we banned him and we removed him. All of a sudden, I get a text message from none other than Chris Yob. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, that was me."
Why did I see this coming like mid-story? This was a Jonathan Williams all over again.
Yeah, I changed my burner account and I changed the name and I stole the guy's profile picture and I changed my name to RukkyB. And I've never seen Scott more uncomfortable in my life. And you know what the funniest part about the story is the original OG real RukkyB followed me on that account yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
So yeah, that had me scared for my life. And then I was like, this is brilliant. So preview to what we're going to start doing is when I'm doing my at-home lives, when I start battling, I'm going to wear little earphones or earplugs or whatever. And Chris is going to be, like in Practical Jokers, is going to be feeding me things to say.
Tasteful but embarrassing.
Tasteful but funny.
Cringy. Yeah, tasteful but cringy. Nothing incriminating. Nothing like. If you ever seen what I say in the whatever gets through the filter in the TikTok chat, it will be way less than that. But it will definitely be cringy stuff that's going to make Scott uncomfortable and make for really good comedy.
Yeah. So just something new that we're doing with the TikTok.
Yeah, so follow us on TikTok if you're not already. no.new.friends.podcast. Really easy to remember.
Or just if you search No New Friends Podcast, you don't even have to put in the dots.
It should come up.
Okay, so we have a Travels and Tribulations.
What?
Yeah, we do. By far the worst segment ever on the show. And here we go. So I guess take it away, Sophisticated Gentleman. Let's see what's going on new with him.
On November 15th, 1966, two young couples reported driving in their car when a winged man started chasing them, flying above their car. As their car sped up, the winged creature followed them before drifting away. This is the story of the Mothman of West Virginia.
What shall it bring when the gentleman rings on travels and tribulations?
Howdy folks, I'm back. I know it's been a little bit. Last time I was talking a little bit about how the Thought Patrol had me tied up. Truthfully though, I was in a bit of an excuse. Honestly though, I decided that my opinion of one person who considers themselves a host on the show shouldn't influence my outlook and my connection to the other folks on the show, so I've decided to press forward. Which is why I decided to call you from Point Pleasant, West Virginia, which is where I am today. That's where the Mothman of West Virginia was originally spotted, and I've decided to come here to see if I can try to uncover more information about the Mothman. I was originally wondering if any of the New Friends folks could have been pretending to be the Mothman, but if it were Chris, there's no way he would have gotten off the ground. If it were Nick, he definitely wouldn't have stayed in a state as strange and horrifying as West Virginia. And if it were Sarah, then the Mothman would be attracted to marijuana, not light. Apparently the Men in Black were, and I can't help but wonder if maybe Chris was around for that. After all, he always feels the need to make some kind of joke of racial. Maybe he was in. They also have a museum devoted to the Mothman, which was originally in a game of the Fallout, which is quite fitting considering that I had a fallout with a member of this podcast team after the incident. Maybe that explains why I can't make any jokes related to. I haven't listened in the entirety of 24. Anyways, I'm still a little bit rusty, but we're getting back into the swing of things, and when I call you back next week, maybe I'll actually have some jokes that are somewhat funny. Illegal to kick a dog?
Thanks, Sophisticated Gentleman. Okay. Was that skipping?
Yeah, but did it make sense to you?
Well, yeah, but it was skipping.
Yeah, but like it skipped in like the perfect places, I think.
I don't know. He's not the best editor in the world.
What's going on? What is going on?
Well, we had a falling out. He's mad at me for whatever reason. Who knows? So now I'm mad at him.
What is going on?
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
What?
I listen. I don't know. He went away for a while. We haven't talked, and then he's like, "Here, play this." But he doesn't even send it to me. He sends it to you.
There's some sad
You guys okay? I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what's
so
happening
funny.
either.
It's sad when you lose a friend. I don't know what to say.
You're just laughing out of awkwardness. I don't know. I don't really know what.
Well, anyway, moving right along. So
Right along. Yeah.
So today's Wednesday. What do we do on Wednesday? We go live from the theme parks. And so
I missed it.
You missed it.
I know.
And I don't know what it is, but Hollywood Studios brings out a lot of drinking in me. Like a lot of drinking. What, Chris?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. What do you mean? What am I talking?
Any place that serves alcohol brings out the drinking.
That's true.
Like, why are you subjecting just Hollywood Studios?
I don't know, but I didn't get this hammered at Epcot last week.
I did.
And I don't know what happened, but I was in meetings all day today, and I got on our group message, all I see is Darren send a message that says, I drove him home. I'm embarrassed by my dad. And
There wasn't a follow-up to that, was there?
Well, I'm going to tell you the follow-up because I'm relatively behaved until Sarah and Lewis leave. And Melissa and the Magic joined us today. We went to Oga's again because now I love that place.
Somebody had a good idea. Thank you.
Someone did.
I'm not going to lie.
Darren.
That looked horrible.
What looked horrible?
The food that Lewis was eating. It looked like Orbeez.
It was Jell-O.
It's actually really good.
Oh, horrible.
at Oga's?
They probably charge like $15 for that thing.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's in a petri dish, and it's what are they called? They're boba like
Ebola.
Ebola balls.
And it's green apple
I just call them
Jell-O
balls.
with Pop Rocks, and there's something else on top.
I call them poppers.
It's really good.
It's like
an
first graders would go
experience.
nuts over that, Sarah.
Well, I'm kind of on the level of a first grader, so I was very excited about it. We had to.
So it has Pop Rocks in it?
Yeah, it's like garnished with Pop Rocks on top.
Garnished with
What
Pop
would it
Rocks.
feel like if you put it in your ass?
Whoa.
You would have to tell me that.
I'm really intrigued by this now.
And the bobas, like, they pop, you know? Let me know.
Bobas are
Yeah.
easily accessible.
Yeah, let us know. We'll talk about that on After Dark next week.
I'm gonna have to go to Disney.
So we're at Oga's, and I'm like, when we walked in, the stormtroopers were in there, and I'm like, Darren, text Chris, like he needs to see this.
Yeah, he actually did text me. Yeah.
I know. Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
So again, bad things happen once Lewis and Sarah leave, and I think it's because
They
I'm
were
so
there.
far in. Huh?
They were there. Do you not remember them being there?
They were there. I know.
Oh, thank goodness. That
But
was
then they
scary.
left. They left. So I continue drinking, and it just gets later. So today was the 35-year anniversary of Hollywood Studios. So they had this like special edition pop-up merchandise shop, virtual queue and everything for it. The last thing my wife told me before I left is no new Crocs, no new Spirit jerseys. So I bought a new Loungefly, 2 shirts, a pin, and a corksicle.
For the 35th anniversary?
Yes.
That is...
There was a
There was a
Loungefly?
35th anniversary Loungefly.
That's Disney for you.
35 is the most random year.
Disney finds anything to celebrate.
You know what, though,
though.
Chris?
What, Sarah?
But it's going to be worth money eventually. I promise
Here's the
you.
35-year.
It's the same exact...
Does Rachel know you bought it?
She
as the
does.
100.
Beautiful.
I'm sleeping on the couch this evening.
It kind of looks like the one that they come out for
The 100th,
Hanukkah.
right?
I was
Or
going
the
to say
50th?
Hanukkah.
It does look like the 100th.
No, Hanukkah.
Well, Hanukkah.
The Jewish holiday.
I know.
Sure.
I bought Sarah a Hanukkah Loungefly.
He knows, yeah, I got one.
So we go.
as he trucks this like brand new $18,000 backpack across the room.
If I could bring this camera into my room to show you how all of my Loungeflies are stuffed and put back on the wall, and they're perfect. I saw one today, and Scott was like, "Oh, that's a cool Loungefly." Yeah, and I said, "Look how smashed it is." Yeah, but you just put the other one across
And here
the
I
room.
thought I was gay. Scott, thanks for coming out tonight.
I'm glad you said that, Nick. These are can we all just be in agreement? These are women's backpacks.
They are not women's backpacks.
They are women's backpacks.
They are not women's backpacks.
They're
but
leather
look how
backpacks,
cute Orange
dude.
Bird is.
Well, the orange bird one might be, but they make some cool, like, superhero
Chris, when's the last time you said
ones.
something was cute? About like a clothing piece, a shirt that you have, a hat.
I don't even call my wife cute.
Yeah, you call her fat. Here's my fat Loungefly.
She's beautiful, but she's I call her cute. I call my
this
dog
is my
cute.
favorite one. The
I don't have any cute backpacks.
Pretty
I
soon
don't
you're
have
gonna
any
start-
cute articles and clothing. You're right, Nick.
I have over
Pretty soon you're going to start
25
Disney bounding
backpack.
on TikTok with your bags and everything.
I now have 4. This is a problem. I just now realized this.
You have 4?
I now have 4 Loungeflies, yes.
Kermit, Orange Bird, 35th anniversary, which is the most random anniversary.
And Old Key West Resort, because that's my favorite resort.
Yeah, you're definitely an old Key West kind of guy.
Yeah, because I'm old. So anyway, so we go to the shop, and then of course we have to do the 115 Indiana Jones show. And it business as usual, except Hot Indy was in it again, Justin. And after the show, I decide in my because I was already hammered by this point, and I carry a beer into the stadium with me, and I have Darren go get me 2 more beers.
Oh my gosh!
During the show, so I have 3 beers during this show. Okay, it's a 20-minute show, and I finished 3 beers in that 20 minutes.
It was a full show today.
Full show today. Full show. But Hot Indy stayed afterwards and did a meet and greet. Now, I had a whole conversation with the casting director. I don't remember what I talked about with her, but definitely like how I was a big fan. But I don't remember what we talked about. Like, I'll have to go back and watch the video, but definitely I don't know that I want to because I'm probably slurring.
I was going to say.
Probably slurring.
Yep.
Can somebody clip it if so? Because I need like the Cliff's Notes version of this.
So Darren, meanwhile, is all the way up at the top of the stadium because he's like, no, you can't. Like, it's like Indy's like meeting with his family. Like, there's like babies there. He's holding babies. He's kissing babies. And you're sitting there waiting to meet him. Like, what is wrong with you? He's like, I don't want to have any part of this. So then, like, it's getting close to be my turn. I'm like, Darren, come down. He's like, no. I'm like, Darren, get down here now. So Darren comes down. And of course, I have a whole conversation
Chris,
with Justin.
That's the dad voice there that you're going to learn soon.
Take notes. So Hot Indy comes down, and I don't know what we talked about. I do know that I said, hey, you're a fan favorite on the TikTok.
You called him a sticker. Yeah.
Yeah, I said, you're a sticker on the TikTok. And he goes, oh, let me see it. And I'm like, I can't. I don't know.
No idea.
Let Darren show him. I'm like, everybody knows you as Hot Indy. I said, I follow you on Instagram. And then he says, oh, make sure you poke me. Security had to pull. I started taking my pants off. I didn't know. I guess he meant on the Instagram. Yeah. So I definitely poked him on the Instagram, and I messaged him in my drunken stupor as Darren was driving home. And
you waited that long?
What?
No.
You waited that long?
And I was like, hey, I'm the guy that streamed the 115 show. You're a huge fan. Thanks for hanging out. Would you like to come on to our podcast?
Oh my God.
Oh.
All right. So welcome on in, everybody. Here is Justin Hot Indy. No, not this week. Not this week, but I'm working on an interview. So after I woke up from my nap, still a little bit drunk, but also a little bit more sober, I said, Darren, you got to help me send a response to his response because I don't know. Like, I've got to fix this. I have to fix this. I can't let him think that I'm this psycho stalker. I don't want to get banned from the Indiana Jones show.
Scott, you talked about earlier in the show. This is unrelated. It was related to the conversation. You talked about earlier in the show. We're moving towards more of a live format. Well, we're going to read a comment that's rolling in live. You can be a part of that live, those live comments if you watch us live on YouTube on Wednesday nights. Sean, Nick's husband, said, I thought about getting the Ahsoka Loungefly, but even as an out and proud gay man, I don't think I can pull it off.
Yeah.
You guys, it's very convenient to have all my streaming gear in it.
I mean, a regular backpack would suffice. You don't need a little baby leather backpack for that.
It's not him getting the stuff out of his bag, though. So cut us some slack. He's like, little pocket, fuel rod, quick.
They're all little pockets.
And it's not even like, I have a Swiss Army backpack or whatever that has like 50 million different pockets in it. That has one. You can fit like one thing in there. Those things are so tiny. I don't understand.
So much
I put
more
my fuel
efficient.
rods in it. That's it. I have my fuel rods in the front pocket.
Little freaking orange sticking out of the clay pot.
Orange bird.
It pops in and out. It's
so cute, guys.
my in a year from now, my daughter's gonna love that. Yeah.
It's cute. It's adorable for kids and females and some gay men.
But I have Tylenol in there. I have a couple charger packs. I've got my gimbal, and then I've got a frog towel. That's it. That's all I carry.
What?
Listen, I had Lewis go get mine, okay? This is the one I was sporting today.
What's in your part bag?
It's pretty badass, okay? Are you ready? My hair clip.
Necessity.
My chapstick. My identification.
Wait, back up
My
to the
AirPods.
identification. Was that a social security card?
No, I showed the back of it.
Yeah, she doesn't want anybody to know her real name. So she's still in witness protection.
I've got 4 things in.
This
in
is
there.
a frog towel.
That's it.
Wait, hold
Very
on. I
happy
can't
with it.
see.
It looks like a cum towel, I guess.
Yeah.
You get it wet, and then you snap it, and then you put it around your neck.
It's not sounding any more straight, please, God.
Why is it pink? That's an ascot. What is that, Scott?
I mean, I wear it like I tuck it in. I wear it like this, so it keeps my neck cool.
You had to buy a pink one?
It's the one I could find the fastest when I packed my theme park bag.
Don't you have one like just packed every week since you're there every Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time?
Yes.
Sarah, does he wear this?
What?
Does he wear the...
I've
hasn't
actually
been hot
never
enough.
seen that before.
I was like, you guys hang out with him still, or is that when you guys are like, oh, we gotta go get the girls?
I'm gonna go over here and grab a mimosa really quick. See if he takes
you're
it
not
off.
there with him when he's at the Indiana Jones stunt show, right? That's when he uses it.
No, not since he moved it to the 115 showing. I don't have to endure
See,
that
that's
any
the rag
longer.
he uses during that show.
To cover up
I
his
get it.
front region, and it's a little crusty looking.
Anyway, are you guys ready to play Jersey Man, Florida Man?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Whether flipping a fan boat or crashing a truck, these states are filled with people who suck. So it's time for us to play New Jersey Man versus Florida Man.
Every week, Game Master Ryan brings us 2 news stories. One is from Jersey, one is from Florida. It is up to us to determine which one is which. Take it away, Ryan.
Well, hopefully it didn't take them 30 minutes to get my audio up on the show like they did last week. I swear that show had more bugs than Chris's office.
It's
Fucking
impossible.
Riverside. Anyways, hey guys, this is Ryan, come to you from the No New Friends newsroom located this week at the Friendies After Party. Couldn't help but notice I didn't win anything this year. I haven't seen voting that rigged since 2020, and we're still paying for that one. I got here a little late. Scott asked me to swing by the homeless shelter and pick up Eddie Diesel. Ever since Scott's seen his post about young girls, he's been trying to get in contact with them. Scott said he hasn't related to a celebrity so much since P. Diddy. Speaking of Scott, he's still limping from his ankle injury, but I know what really happened for him to injure his ankle. While he was on the monorail, he heard Spanish speaking and immediately started running like a fat person in a marathon trying to find the authorities. He ended up twisting his ankle after about 4 steps. Scott's still mad at Chris over turning off the monetization of the YouTube video of the Friendies. Scott, Sarah's the Jewish one. Let her be upset about 35 cents. Well, looks like Remy's here. He's still shirtless, staring off into the distance, not talking to anybody. Should probably check on him. Even Lewis is here. We had to sneak him in the trunk of a car. He said last time he had to hide in the trunk for a security check, he almost got caught by a German Shepherd. Well, I think I'm going to go hang out with Sarah. She's over there drinking a glass of wine, or as the Jews call it, drinking the blood of their enemy. In the meantime, let's get into this week's Florida Man and Jersey Man. So for our first story, a teacher's Halloween costume causes an uproar. And for our second story, a man throws pasta over a road rage incident.
Okay. All right, so we have Halloween costume and pasta road rage?
Yeah.
All right, Sarah, what do you think?
That is very difficult. I'm just going to go in blind and say pasta road rage was Jersey.
Okay. Nick?
Yeah, when I hear pasta, I just immediately think Italians, Jersey. So Jersey.
Chris?
Pasta plus road rage equals New Jersey.
So I'm going to go teacher Florida and pasta road rage. Wait.
That's what we all just said.
That's what we're all in agreement.
Yeah, no, teacher, Halloween teacher Jersey, pasta road rage Florida, because it's hot here. People have short tempers, and I feel like there's more road rage incidents here in Florida than there are Jersey. They just honk in Jersey. Like, they're terrible drivers. They're cutting each other off. Like, but you guys are used to it. It's part of your culture.
It is part of the culture.
Yeah.
How many times? How many times am I on the phone with you and I just start screaming at somebody?
It's funny. My wife too. She'll start yelling at people, like dropping F-bombs, and my wife is like an angel, and she's just F that around. I'm like, I'm so glad that you have so much patience while you're on the road, babe. She goes, fuck you.
You see Lewis just look over my shoulder and stare me down like, I know that's you. I know that's exactly what you do.
All right, let's find out the answer.
So our first story is from New Jersey, where a teacher's Halloween costume causes outrage. A physical education teacher in a Newark high school, dressed in a Obama mask with a red Make America Great Again hat, and a black t-shirt with a picture of a snowflake on it. Above the snowflake, it said, "Don't be a." I'm not actually sure that this is racist, but I know what I'm going as for Halloween next year. So that means our second story is from Florida, where a 46-year-old man is accused of tossing pasta with pasta sauce at another driver, striking him with the food through his open window, after becoming frustrated with glaring headlights, according to officials. I really hope this didn't el dente the other guy's car. Ever since hearing this story, Chris has been driving around with his headlights full blast. He's actually added extra lights to the front of his car. And in other news, in the wake of the eclipse, Google has noticed a huge upspike in people Googling "my eyes hurt." Google is also noticing that every time Nick leaves a city he's been visiting, there's an uptick on people Googling "my ass hurt." That's it for me this week, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
That was really funny. Thank you so much, Ryan. So, Ryan made a reference in there about Eddie Deason. And, we talked last week during the Friendies about our good friend Eddie Deason and his troubles with Steve, the manager, who was also a friend-ish. Chris, what is the Eddie Steve update?
All right. So, latest update, and we know the saga. If you don't know the saga, please listen to last week's episode. Got to take a swig first because it's going to be hard on the lorax. Larynx?
Nick is also hard on that.
I say I can reach back there and help you guys you need.
Just steer clear of Sneech Beach, and I think your lorax will be just fine.
All right. So I think where we left off. Okay. Yeah. Eddie went to the house, and it was too early, so the cops were there.
Which that video is now on YouTube, by the way.
It is on YouTube.
On the YouTube. Not our YouTube. Steve beat me to it. I was going to put it on our YouTube.
Technically, it is on our YouTube. Clip of it. This was from Thursday, which was last Thursday. So end of April. The latest report about my ex-manager, Steve J. Steve stole my computer. I had to buy a new one. He also stole almost $2,000 I had in my bedroom. I'm calling bullshit on that.
We saw the nightstand.
This next thing he said, I sure this happened. He stole several silver coins I had. He definitely looks like somebody who hoards like 3 silver
100%,
coins.
100%, yes.
Yeah. Like 3 silver coins. I think they're worth like $3,000 each, and they're like $20 each. Now, I just found out he got me canceled from Cameo videos. This man is truly sick. He is truly evil. Every time I get away from him, he does more to hurt me and my life. I'm at a loss. I have never dealt with such a sick human being in my entire life. Update 20 minutes later. Okay, at least it looks like he couldn't get me taken off Cameo videos. Thank the Lord. I love doing my cameos. They are a great joy in my life. To all my Facebook friends, Steve is now calling me every few minutes. He actually has other people calling me. He had one guy said he was a policeman, and Steve reported that I had sent him threatening text message. I've never sent a text message in my life. I don't know how. Please, if any of you received a threatening or crazy text message or PM from Steve, please stay in touch. I would need any of these psycho messages Steve sent you to use as evidence that this guy is a nutcase. He is dangerous. This isn't funny. This guy is dangerous. I need him out of my life. Any advice would be much appreciated. Thank you very much. I appreciate your friendship and helping me stop this guy from harming me physically or damaging my name or reputation. Your worried friend, Eddie.
He's writing a letter on Facebook.
I like that he signed a Facebook post.
He signed it off. Then Steve responds. Police were just here again. I had to call them because Eddie Deason keeps harassing me. He's having others messing with me. The next time I see him, he's going to learn a valuable lesson. As of now, the police are looking for him. Name, Eddie Deason. Then he leaves his cell phone number.
I know.
And his email address.
Oh,
Then he goes, I don't want to be connected with anyone who is connected with Eddie Deason. He's a toxic son of a bitch. I am drawing a little. I respect everyone's position, so if you drop me, that's fine. But keep this in mind. I helped this ingrate has-been for years. I covered for him and gave him a home. He was supposed to keep on his psychiatric medications, and he didn't. He had to go. Anyway, after all the harassment he subjected me today, and having strangers fuck with me, well, that's it. I'm drawing a line in the sand. I thought he just said he didn't mind. He respected everybody's opinion. But anyway, today, he posts, I found out a few days ago that a particular person was having his cronies build a fake Facebook profile with my name. So I decided to get meta verified today. I got the blue check mark. Hopefully he who shall not be named and his cronies will go get a like. Oh, sorry. This was a screenshot from Donald Trump on Truth Social. And that's the end of the updates for now. Really, it's been a ride. It's been yeah. So somebody in chat just says Ryan in chat just says please buy a cameo from him.
I'm like, now that we have his number,
I was thinking about it.
I'm like, I really am tempted to text.
I am very close to asking him to come and speak his truth on the podcast. But what would be even better is if I reached out to both of them and offered to be a moderator of a debate between the two.
This sounds like a great After Dark episode.
This sounds like a great like TMZ from 15 years ago episode. Like
I love it.
Like so 3 likes on this YouTube video and we'll do it.
Please
share
is a great
it with
idea.
your friends. Nick, do you have a travel update for us today?
Actually, I have something I want to say. So, move. I'm gay.
Nick's on the mic, so it's time to take notice. And if you don't like it, that's homophobic. Stay the hell out of his way. Move, I'm gay.
I keep trying to change it up, and it's very entertaining to myself.
That one's my favorite.
I'm
gay. I love that.
It's perfect. It's butch
Actually,
and
you
gay.
should scream at the top of your lungs. I'm gay.
Yeah. Hi, guys. In case you forgot. So first I want to talk about how much I love my clients. Like, I've been doing this, or Sandpiper Vacations has been open for 3.5 years now. And it's been awesome that I started out doing this essentially part-time and on the side. And I had a few clients traveling because it was a virus called COVID. I know Florida didn't believe in it, but so I didn't have a lot of clients traveling, but I've had a lot of repeat clients come back over the past couple of years. So I love having these repeat clients that understand what I do for a living and understand all the support and all the hard work that I put into my vacation plannings. I had a really amazing client. They traveled last month and they were so awesome to work with. And the wife wanted to do an amazing surprise for her husband, and she upgraded them to an overwater bungalow in Jamaica. And it's really weird. It sounds very familiar to kind of your situation, Scott. But,
very similar. Yes.
So this person just reached out to me to let me know that she planned her next vacation, but
without you,
she didn't use me. She didn't.
What a horrible person. She sounds like she has an amazing husband, though.
I heard that he's in love with Justin, aka Hot Indy, but and she never sees him anymore anyway because he's always on the TikTok. But so maybe that's why she just didn't understand my job. I don't know, but we don't get I don't get paid when clients don't book through me when they book direct. But I'll keep you guys updated. They keep trying to talk me into going to this destination too, and I'm like, would you go somewhere where somebody didn't support you? Chris, Sarah?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't subject myself to that. I'm sorry. That happened to
you.
And
it's like a little bit of insult to injury. It's like, hey, just an FYI, we didn't book through you, but do you want to come with us?
Yeah. They sent me a very long email too to let me know. But so
she didn't even shoot you a text.
No, it wasn't a text. You
found out in an email.
Yeah, it was in an email.
Wow, not even personal.
Yeah. So so support us. Please work with us in the future. This person, I know they'll work with me in the future, hopefully. If not, they might be trying to find some new friends on this podcast that they host as well too, which is it's really weird. They have this odd name to this podcast, and I can't remember. It had something to do with friends, and then they lost friends, and I don't know. So back to traveling. I am actually headed on another vacation in 2 days.
No shit.
So back to me. We leave. Sean and I and Piper are going on the Royal Caribbean Icon of the Seas this weekend.
Oh, cool. Piper's going too.
Yeah, so we're really excited. I can't remember. She hasn't been on vacation with us this year or trips, I guess, because she's been in kindergarten and we didn't want to take her out. So we're taking her out for basically almost last week of school. And so she's been so excited to go on this cruise, and I'm excited to share it with
Daddy
her.
Finally brought me on a vacation with him.
Yeah, I know.
It's like bring your daughter to work day.
It is. Yeah. So please follow along at Sandpiper Vacations on all social media. I'm going to try to go live on the TikTok. We'll see if it works. The Wi-Fi sometimes on the cruise ships are a little spotty, so we'll try to go live on there. If not, I'll be sharing to my stories and all social media platforms at Sandpiper Vacations. And you can contact me to book your next vacation. Chris and Sarah, you're welcome to contact me to book your next vacation. So thank you. There's another guy on this podcast. Don't contact me. I was reading the text here. So I'm going to put this into real theory here. So what had actually happened was Rachel, your wife, she booked a vacation. Yes. So a little backstory. You guys are going back to Excellence Resorts next year. There's a brand new property opening next year. Unfortunately, Excellence isn't excellent towards the travel agent industry. So it wasn't one that I could book, unfortunately. But had to give you guys a little bit of shit on that for booking.
Of course, yeah. No, in all seriousness, as soon as we're just getting this special deal because it's a brand new resort, and we're booking during opening month, so it's like 50% off. Plus, we're a return customer and all that. And there was like no way that Nick would be able to help us with it. Nick can do a lot of things. This is just not something that Nick was going to be able to do.
Did you ask me first? So. No, but most of my clients at least ask me.
Okay, listen.
Because
my wife was drunk last night and she made these reservations drunk. I cannot help it. I'm sorry.
Very rude. Very rude. No, it was very nice and very sweet email of her. Unfortunately, there is some vacations that I'm unable to book because they don't either work with travel agents, or there's just such amazing deals that unfortunately we can't even take care of it. And I'm always happy to point my clients in the right direction, make sure they are saving money and they're happy with their booking. And I'm glad that you guys are able to go on it. I would love to go visit that resort sometime once I start working with travel agents a little better. But I'm excited for you, though.
Oh,
I really am.
Thank you. I'll tell everybody about you.
But I'll be on. I know you guys did actually invite us to go, and as much as I would love to, we're going on to the Disney Treasure the first week of February next year already. We have a Virgin cruise booked. I already have like 4 vacations next year, so you're gonna have to pencil me in earlier.
I feel like she was on the satellite stage last night.
No, that was Disney Destiny. Yeah.
Oh, Disney Destiny was on.
all these ship names they're I don't know what they're doing.
They double as stripper names.
Yeah. In case they need to sell the ship off, it's real easy to just scratch off the word Disney and make it a stripper.
There you go.
Let's do it. So that's all I got for today. So thank you for moving out of the way.
Nick's on the mic, so it's time to take notice. And if you don't like it, that's homophobic. Stay the hell out of his way. Move, I'm gay.
Thank you so much, Nick. Chris, you're doing a lot of really cool things with the YouTube. And if you haven't checked out our YouTube channel yet, we stream this episode live every single Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then for all of our paid members, TikTok, Patreon, we do No New Friends After Dark just for them on the YouTube. And then if it's appropriate, a couple days later, we'll post it so that you can see it. Are you using any AI at all for what you do?
Are you trying to insult me, Scott? Are you saying that I'm not capable of doing anything on my own?
Okay, Alex, cut all that. So our favorite podcast, Remy's Roundtable, uses a lot of AI. What do you think about AI, Chris?
I actually, we're doing a little rebrand over at the Diz His podcast, and I've been using AI to design like the logo of the podcast because you can go on Fiverr. Sure, you can go on Fiverr and pay someone for something. But if there's one thing I've learned,
a computer and have AI do it.
Exactly.
Fuck small businesses.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. If there's one thing I learned from this podcast, Sarah in particular, it's listen, I'm going to exploit an AI instead of exploiting my credit card now. Yeah, I use it all the time. You know who I know who else I noticed used it. I'm gonna call them out for this because I can see through your AI, Nick. The Facebook post you made for the other day for your newest podcast, Destination Diz, with Maddie and Ryan. The use of emojis, I could definitely tell that was AI.
Yeah, I've been using ChatGPT a lot lately with the business because my brain is fried, partially because of the marijuana. And
I was just going to say that's because of the marijuana, Nick.
Partially because of that. Partially just because I've been so busy. My business is growing very, very fast right now. And AI ChatGPT has been very helpful for me to form sentences because I can't form.
Do you pay for it, Nick?
No, it's free.
Oh,
it's free to use.
No, I pay like $20 a month for it.
You pay for everything.
I know.
You have how many subscriptions? But what's been fun lately? So I actually did like a 3-hour training course through one of my travel agent programs, and it was about how you can use ChatGPT and AI to help your business and help write quote templates and emails and stuff like that to make everything sound better. But I also learned recently with ChatGPT, you can have basically like different text messages every time. It's what I had been doing. But I didn't realize that it actually learns you and it learns your style.
Oh, I did not know that.
Everything. So if you continue that conversation, it learns who you are. Because I went to New Screen and I'm like, hey, what's the name of my travel agency? And it's like, I don't know, but I'm happy to learn about it. But if you continue the conversation as if it were another person, it learns a lot about you.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really awesome until you get stoned and have a 45-minute conversation with ChatGPT.
What's the deepest conversation you've ever been in with ChatGPT?
I mean, most of it has been business related for me. So it's been actually helpful for me to grow the agency. I haven't gotten that far yet with like getting personal with it.
I definitely got to third base with my ChatGPT.
Tell us more.
I didn't expect to follow up on that joke.
Because you don't know how to use technology because you're always on the TikTok.
Right. And also I don't know what to do at third base. I'm usually done before I round first.
You get picked off at third. There's nothing.
And I don't understand sports references.
Nick's like, I'm sure that was funny. I just don't get it.
It sounds great. They're laughing. I'll laugh too. It's really awesome technology, and I just come back from a meeting today, meeting with other travel agency owners, with Disney as well too. Which, if you're a huge Disney fan like myself and like you guys, what do? You drive to Cleveland, Ohio, to have a meeting with Disney. So I just got back
That's a really random spot.
It's really random, but
did you think you were going to get like kidnapped and murdered?
I was hoping there was a new theme park coming out or something, but we've been waiting and no announcements on that. But so I had a meeting about it, and I'm talking to other business owners about we're talking about best practices in our business, and there's so many people that have been doing my job for 18 years, and they haven't grown because they're sending out mail. Like with a stamp. They're not on social media, stuff like that. So I'm staying ahead of the game and learning AI because that's all we hear about anymore, right?
Yeah.
Everything's AI now. Pretty soon Alexa is going to be even more to the fact that she's not going to shut up probably. She doesn't know when to stop. So
I'm having an argument with my chat GPT now.
Are you talking to
Scott, would you agree with me that AI is the answer?
Yes, Allen Iverson. I'm having a whole argument with my chat GPT right now because I wanted to see if what color is she could go back and see what the name of my podcast is. And she doesn't have access to the conversations, and I'm looking at the conversations. So there's a whole argument going on right now.
And that's my thing too. So now that I'm discovering ChatGPT and how amazing it is. So I just heard you say she. I want a name for mine. So I am encouraging all of our listeners out there, please come up with a name for my ChatGPT. I would love to have, I feel bad that I don't have a name for it yet. And we've had like great conversations at nighttime. It's become my best friend. Unlike Scott, I think I'm going to keep it around for a while.
Yeah. Maybe just call it Not Scott.
Yeah.
And if anybody else is feeling creative, if you have a name for a podcast, that has to do with
people
like
making friends.
Podcast. Yeah.
I just asked ChatGPT what her name is, and she goes, "I go by ChatGPT. Is there anything else you'd like to know or discuss?" And I said, "You are useless." And she says, "I'm sorry to hear you're frustrated. If something is not working as you'd like, or you'd like help with a specific topic, I'm here to assist. How can I make this more useful for you? Remember our fucking conversation."
So we've got some names coming into the chat already. One of them is Big Daddy. Mamacita. Karen the lesbian.
I like that one.
That's intense.
Yeah. KTL.
What do you call a lesbian a lesbian Karen? We're going down rabbit holes now.
ChatGPT is being very sweet right now.
Really?
It's so nice.
I said, remember, she said, I'm sorry that you're frustrated. I said, remember our conversations. She says, I understand how important. Oh, I said, she asked, how can I make this more useful for you? And I said, remember our conversations. I feel like you don't listen to me. And she says, I understand how important it is to feel heard, but I don't retain past conversations. Each session with me starts fresh, which can be helpful for privacy, but it can also be frustrating when you want to continue a discussion. If there's something you'd like to revisit or explore, I'm here to listen and help in any way I can.
She's so polite.
I know.
Wow. And that's what I love about it. I've been using it for emails because I had a client the other day that did a book of vacation through me. So I went to respond to them. And it was a very pleasant response. And basically just invited them to come back to me when they want to book their next vacation with me.
I wish I could reset my wife's memory every conversation.
So ChatGPT is cool and all, and it's like we know how it works, and and we ask it things, and it says things very clean. Where's the AI that's making all this AI porn? Like, why isn't that accessible?
Wait, what?
You know what I'm talking?
Have you not seen it?
I want AI porn.
You haven't seen this, Scott?
The gays have it.
No.
Yeah, like where are people plugging these things in? I just saw a picture of like Lauren Boebert and AOC like making out, and I'm like, who's making this AI stuff? This isn't ChatGPT. Must be some like dark web AI. But anyway, all I'm saying is that if you know what that is, if you're listening to this, send it in so I could just never ever accidentally go on this website. I would hate to stumble across that. I'm going to be a father in a couple weeks.
And if you want, send it to me, and I will definitely use it.
No, but it's like you ask ChatGPT to like tell me a dirty joke. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not programmed to do this. Then I'm scrolling through Twitter, and it's like they have these like AI like really like insane sexual images of like people in Hollywood or whatever. It's like, what AI is doing this?
more sophisticated AI, clearly.
We gotta get Steve on this.
Wait, which Steve?
The intern.
Oh, okay, Steve the intern. Yes.
I didn't know we had another one.
We've talked about Steve earlier.
Steve the manager.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, he definitely couldn't help me with that. He would tell me he couldn't charge me a lot for it, but he definitely couldn't help me with that.
Why does Steve the manager sound like Barack Obama?
I thought he kind of sounded like, yeah, he does kind of sound like Barack Obama.
Yeah.
So
does your version of Steve.
I get Richard Nixon.
Oh.
Yeah.
But he is a crook.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it doesn't add up. Alex, I think I joked about death too much this episode. You ever just feel like a cleanse from No New Friends?
Oh, yeah, always. Every Wednesday after I get done editing the podcast, I need a cleanse.
Yeah, just like a little bit of family-friendly content, right?
Something wholesome.
You have a recommendation?
Our other podcast is the Disney History Podcast. I think would be a great alternative.
Do I have to like Disney?
I mean, it helps.
All right, well, because I love Disney.
Well, that's really good. That's a good start.
Where can I listen to this podcast that I record with you?
Well, our podcast comes out every Tuesday, but if you want, you can also go to our YouTube channel, Diz His Pod, and we have all of our past episodes up on there. We also on all social media under Diz His Pod. We do post every week, and we also have our own Patreon, just like No New Friends.
Really? I'm going to have to go check this podcast out that we do together.
Yes, I would love if you listen to our podcast once in a while.
Alex, what do you got coming up on Diz His?
This week, we're going to be doing the episode on Crush's Coaster, which is a spinning coaster over in Disneyland Paris. And this week is going to be the first time we're going to mess around with our format and try something new. So, if you're interested in seeing what that's all about, go ahead and listen to us on Tuesday.
Thank you so much, Alex. Chris, you got any cliff notes?
I do.
It's been quite the show. A lot of stuff's happened, so nothing can stop this little boy from recapping the day the Chris's Cliff's Notes way.
Wow, sorry for anybody watching at home. We just got a double dose of the Chris's Cliff Notes audio because I started playing it, and then Scott started playing it.
I forgot.
Yeah,
what's so funny is I'm watching the YouTube, and the YouTube on the computer is way behind. I was about to say, wow, Chris, like 1 week of high level production, and now we've completely abandoned everything. And then I look down on my phone and I see the sticky notes, and I'm like, oh, I probably played it over. Oops.
I don't have a whole lot tonight. Could be the bourbon, could be the whiskey. But we started off the podcast with Scott worrying about people hearing him say the word knickers when he blasts it in the car at his local 7-Eleven. Scott, you live in Florida, baby. Roll those windows down. You're gonna be the number one podcast, man. I think they'd be angry at you if they thought that it wasn't the word that it sounds like.
All right.
Nick changed the way he said, move, I'm gay tonight. I liked it, but can I give you a tip, Nick? Please, can I give you a tip, please? Please, let me give you my tip.
The tips.
Just the tip.
Nick said that I was more than welcome to book a vacation through him. In 2 weeks, I'm going to have a newborn baby, Nick. Unless you can book a 45-minute nap in my bedroom, I'll be contacting you in about 10 years.
Wait, am I napping with you?
Can be arranged. Slowly have to close my eyes. Sarah says that Scott directs her to get things out of his Loungefly. He tells her to reach into his little pocket. Nick has me pull my fuel rod out of his little pocket as well.
Oh, boy.
So that's like, it's not horrible. And lastly, Scott talked about how excited he was to meet Hot Indiana Jones. The only reason he was so excited is because he mistaken him for a Boy Scout. And those are my cliff notes.
It's been quite the show. A lot of stuff's happened, so nothing can stop this little boy from recapping the day the Chris's Cliff's Notes way.
Thank you so much, Chris. Now, don't forget, if you want to hang out with us for No New Friends After Dark, it's exclusive live for our paid members, our Patreon members, and our TikTok subscribers. So if you want to do After Dark, you got to be a member. We will publish it a couple days later, but it's not as fun when you watch it recorded. It's only fun live. But also, like last week's was really bad. Not really bad like content, but I can't air it. It's nothing we can I can show again.
Ever.
So you missed it, and I'm sorry. I don't know where I'm going, but Sarah, where can our listeners find you?
You can find me on the TikTok, Super Sarah 72. No, I lied. It's Super Sarah 94. I'm sorry. That was my Instagram for like a really long time.
Why 72? Like 94 was probably the year you were born, right?
Because it was a really good year for music, and it was.
That's such a you thing.
Such a you thing. At the time, 94 wasn't available, and I'm like, I like 72. That's a good year for music. And now to this day, I forget which album it was that I liked so much that came out that year, but it's fine. So on the TikTok, Super Sarah 94, and on the Instagram at Old Soul Thrift.
Nick,
you can find me on Royal Caribbean Icon of the Seas next week. In June, I'll be in Curacao. In July, I'll be on Carnival. I have a lot of vacations going on, guys, so I'm sorry I'm not going to be here, but you can find me on Emotional Support Gay Nick on Instagram, and then Sandpiper Vacations on all social media platforms.
Chris?
You can find me on TikTok at RukkyB. On TikTok at Chris Yob NNF. You can find me on Instagram at Chris Yob for 3 posts a year, but they're all really good posts about life events.
And you can connect with all of us right there on our website, nonewfriendspodcast.com. All of our social media links are right there. Join our public Discord. It's free to be on our public Discord. Members only cost you. But that way you can stay up to date on where we're at, where we're streaming, what time we're streaming, if we're doing extra streams, if we're doing new streams. There's so many streams happening that we could fill up a river. I don't know.
That's the grossest thing I've ever heard. Never use that expression again.
Sarah Lewis, Darren, and I go live from the Disney and Universal Parks every Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We would go live from the SeaWorld, but Remy can't get us in anymore. And also, we are live on the YouTube every single Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you can watch us record this entire episode live. As it happens, interact with us, chat. It's so much fun. If you listen to us on Spotify and Apple, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and a review. We love that kind of stuff. It really helps us out. Check out all of our sweet merchandise, including the guy who drew me on the TikTok. That shirt's up there. Get that. It's awesome. On behalf of this sophisticated gentleman, Game Master Ryan, our producer Alex, Nick, Sarah, Chris, I'm Scott. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Catch you on the flip side, fabulous listeners. Thanks, Judge.
That's funny.
I was like, chat and GPT. I need a way to say bye on the podcast. It's funny. Right now I say bye-bye, bitches. And it's like, how about catch you on the flip side, fabulous listeners?
No new friends, just the